Who in China can sleep peacefully tonight? The richest men in the nation live in constant terror of the government. Ordinary workers wake up every morning wondering if they'll eat tonight. In just 4 short months, from April to July 2025, 5 of China's most successful billionaires jumped from the rooftops of their own corporate headquarters to their deaths. 39 CEOs have been secretly detained and tortured by state security forces. University professors who once commanded respect now earn a pathetic 8 yuan per teaching hour. China's Generation Z, fresh university graduates, have abandoned white-collar dreams to dig coal in dark, dangerous mines. Asus, the global PC giant, just announced they're moving 90% of their production lines out of China to factories in Vietnam, Thailand, and Indonesia. Even government employees, once the most secure jobs in China, now hear their bosses say, "We guarantee you 3 months of salary. If we're lucky, maybe 6 months." Welcome to China Undercover. We tear away Beijing's carefully constructed facade of prosperity and growth, from the torture chambers where billionaires are broken to the empty classrooms of elite universities, from abandoned factories to desolate city streets. This is the real story of 1.4 billion people trapped in a collapsing system. This isn't just news. This is a cry for help from an entire nation. Let me take you inside the nightmare that's unfolding right now. On July 27, 2025, Wang Rui stood on the 18th floor observation deck of his Beijing headquarters. He was the chairman of Jiandi, China's largest scientific equipment manufacturer. Moments later, he jumped to his death. This tragedy came just 4 days after Wang Rui was released from secret government detention. But the man who walked out of that black site was no longer Wang Rui. Witnesses in Wuhan described him as a walking corpse. His body was emaciated, skin hanging off his bones. His internal organs had been damaged from relentless beatings. He shuffled down the street like a zombie, barely able to speak. What turned this billionaire into a broken shell of a man? In 2023, Wang Rui successfully withdrew 2.67 billion yuan by selling 61.93% of Jiandi's shares. Local Wuhan government officials became insanely jealous of his wealth. They demanded he hand over his stocks and assets to state-owned enterprises. When Wang refused to give up what he'd rightfully earned, they arrested him. What followed was months of systematic torture designed to break his will. Finally, they released the shell of a man who used to be China's equipment industry king. 4 days later, he chose death over returning to that hell. Just 10 days before Wang Rui's suicide, another tragedy unfolded. Zhang Zongxian, founder of Langkai in Guangxu province, also jumped from his office building. His company declared bankruptcy within hours of his death. The same week saw CEOs Humi Longbing and Shuhai Liu dragged away by security forces. This isn't random bad luck. This is a systematic purge of China's most successful entrepreneurs. The weapon they're using is called liuji, secret detention without trial. It replaced the old shuangui system in 2018. Originally designed for corrupt officials, it's now aimed at billionaires. A human rights lawyer now living in America revealed the horrifying details. They lock victims in secret locations where no lawyers or family can reach them. The torture methods are medieval. They place a bowl of water on your head. If one drop spills, they beat you mercilessly. They insert needles under your fingernails. They use hand-cranked generators to deliver electric shocks through your body. Blinding lights shine in your face 24 hours a day. They lock you in freezer rooms at -3 degrees Celsius with no food. In 2018, businessman Fu Pin died after just 1 month in Liuji detention. His family received a body covered in torture wounds. They wanted to sue, but all evidence disappeared. Every news report was scrubbed from the internet. The statistics are beyond comprehension. From January to September 2025, 39 top corporate executives were disappeared into this system. That's one arrest every single week, a 65% increase over the previous year. Peng Fa-jian learned this lesson the hard way. Chairman of Yaofa, a cutting-edge military chip manufacturer. In the first half of 2025, his company reported sales up 73% year over year. Profits exploded 107% to 62 million yuan. The company serves China's most sensitive military clients: China Electronics Group, China Aerospace Science Group, Chinese Academy of Sciences. On September 21st, Peng sold company shares for 450 million yuan profit. Hours later, state security arrested him without warning. Xin Shijia faced an even more public humiliation. Chairman of Banca, one of China's largest real estate developers, drowning in 48 billion yuan of debt. On September 18, 2025, during an important board meeting, police burst into the room. They dragged Xin Shijia away in front of his stunned executives. Less than a month later, Banca announced, Chairman Xin resigned for personal reasons. No one believed that lie for a second. Then there's Mr. Jing, the furniture industry billionaire who built an empire from nothing. Dozens of subsidiaries, billions in registered capital, thousands of employees across China. He bragged, "In every city, my company is number 1 or number 2. But that success became his curse. During the pandemic, while competitors collapsed, Jing's empire thrived. He accumulated billions in cash reserves. Local governments saw him as their personal ATM. They forced him to buy worthless state land projects. Beautify our city, they demanded. When Jing refused, citing the massive risks, they threatened him. Buy it or else. He reluctantly invested billions. The moment the deals closed, the government changed the rules. They froze all his permits, halted every development plan, then demanded hundreds of millions more in additional fees. Jing sued from local courts to provincial courts. Every case was dismissed. The government weaponized housing bonds next. Instead of cash, citizens bought homes with government IOUs. Jing's companies ended up holding mountains of worthless paper. Desperate, he traveled to the provincial capital, then Beijing. Everywhere he got empty promises and more demands for cash. Finally, in January 2025, the police summoned him. 3 straight days of interrogation, sleep deprivation, forced confessions. A police officer screamed at him, "Why won't you pay? The leaders say pay. So you pay." Jing responded, "If I pay everything you demand, my company goes bankrupt." They didn't care. Broken and hunted, Jing fled to Shanghai, then boarded a flight to America. The government seized his entire 2 billion yuan cash reserve. They issued an international warrant for his arrest. Mr. Jing's story isn't unique. In just the first half of 2025, at least 39 entrepreneurs vanished on vague charges. In August alone, 5 major corporate executives disappeared in just a few days. Panic has spread through China's entire business community. No one knows who will be targeted next. Now let's examine what's happening to China's intellectual elite. University professors who once enjoyed comfortable middle-class lives are collapsing under the weight of the economic crisis. Teacher Liu from Shandong province paints a devastating picture. Before COVID, we earned 50 yuan per teaching hour, sometimes 30, sometimes 50. Now it's just 8 yuan per hour. That's less than $1. Year-end teaching bonuses that used to arrive every December? Completely gone. Research funding for graduate students? Slashed to nothing. Liu says, "Everyone lives in constant terror. We got paid this month. Will we get paid next month? No one knows." University salaries used to have 4 components. Basic salary plus performance bonuses plus hourly teaching fees plus research grants. Now there's only one, basic salary, And even that's shrinking. Liu explains the research funding crisis. National-level grants used to be 1 million yuan per project. Provincial grants were 200,000 yuan. City grants, 500,000 yuan. Now it's impossible to win any of them. Professors pay research costs from their own pockets. In 2023, Jiangsu province professors saw year-end bonuses slashed 40%. Some research bonuses dropped nearly 50%. By 2024, universities began merging departments to cut costs. All staff benefits eliminated. Teacher Wang reveals the ugly truth about campus corruption. When money runs out, they cut graduate student funding first. Then they come for the professors. Young academics are committing suicide non-stop. The numbers confirm her fears. Caixin reports 7 young university professors died in 2025 alone. A 41-year-old vice professor in Guangdong jumped from a campus building. A 35-year-old PhD advisor at a Zhejiang university took his own life. China's universities now operate under a brutal elimination system. PhD graduates who fail competency tests get demoted. From respected academics to university security guards sweeping floors. Wang warns, the survival pressure is unbearable. Internal competition has become savage. Living in Chinese society gets more difficult every single day. Now, let's descend even deeper into China's economic apocalypse. While billionaires jump from skyscrapers and professors sweep floors, China's youngest generation faces the most brutal reality of all. A 23-year-old born in 2002 posts on social media, "I'm digging coal every day." A 21-year-old born in 2004 responds, "Me too, every single day." Then she asks China's Gen Z girls, "What are you all doing for work? Those fancy internet jobs you post about, what are they really?" This isn't hyperbole. This is China's future. University graduates trading laptops for pickaxes. White-collar dreams buried under tons of coal dust. The trigger? Global companies fleeing China en masse. Asus, the world's PC giant, just announced they're moving 90% of their motherboard and computer production lines out of mainland China. Destination? Factories in Thailand, Vietnam, and Indonesia. Even their server production lines moved to America last year. This single decision wipes out thousands of jobs that supported entire Chinese families. And Asus isn't alone. Nikkei Asia reports Microsoft plans to shift most Surface laptop production outside China starting 2026. 10 years ago, Vietnamese workers flooded into China chasing factory jobs. Now Chinese workers flood out to Vietnam chasing the same opportunities. Factory bosses are vanishing too. One mold factory owner shows his warehouse, 3,000 to 4,000 mold sets gathering dust. Each mold costs 400,000 to 500,000 yuan. Half of them haven't had a single order in over a year, he says. He took customer deposits in May. Now it's October, no deliveries. He's fled with the money. South China factory owners are doing the same. Collect deposits, disappear, leave workers and customers empty-handed. The human toll is devastating. I met a boy from a rural family who got lucky. Through campus recruitment, he landed a job at an American company in Zhengzhou. When local wages paid 700 to 800 yuan monthly, he earned 5,000 yuan basic salary. When average wages hit 1,000 to 2,000 yuan, he made over 20,000 yuan monthly. Why? His company was an industry leader. No cold calling, no begging for sales. Customers came to him. He just organized academic forums. The hidden perks? Company trips to France, England, or at worst, developed Asian countries. Money plus world-class experience. Compare that to what's available now. A college graduate in Suzhou brags about his job. 200-400 yuan per day. Monthly take-home after rent, utilities, and food? Barely 100 yuan. Another girl waited 90 minutes for a 3,200 yuan monthly job interview. 3 people ahead of her. all desperate for the same miserable wage. Beijing job market, 5,000 yuan salary. After mandatory insurance deductions, 4,000 yuan left. Not enough for rent, let alone food. Kindergarten teachers, once called iron rice bowls, now stand at life's crossroads. Hundreds of kindergartens closed this year. Teachers unemployed, anxious, lost. One industrial park tells the story perfectly. This street used to be gridlocked at 5:55 p.m. Every ethnicity in China worked here. Now, at quitting time, it's a ghost town. People say the economy isn't bad, one worker says. I just look at this street. That tells me everything. Even the nightlife economy collapsed. Billiards halls turned into disguised prostitution rings. Pretty teaching assistants wear revealing clothes. Dimly lit private rooms, single men as primary targets. They charge by the hour, much cheaper than KTV. Social media lures naive girls. Earn tens of thousands monthly playing billiards. The result? Young people chase quick money. No one pursues science or research anymore. Campus recruitment fairs tell the truth. Entry-level e-commerce jobs, 2 months training, 1 month no pay, then 2,800 yuan. Factory jobs dominate every booth. 2 shifts, brutal conditions, 2,000 to 3,000 yuan monthly. One girl cries, "My di xian keeps dropping." In university, she wouldn't touch 3,000 yuan jobs. Fresh out of school, 4,000 yuan was her minimum. Now, any job, any salary, just to survive. It's 2:12 a.m., day 145 of unemployment. She lies in bed, sleepless. Hundreds of resumes sent. 0 responses. Even worse, even civil servants aren't safe anymore. Government workers, the last secure jobs in China, now face salary catastrophe. Across China, 31 out of 31 provinces run budget deficits, first time in 70 years of communist rule. Until 2020, only 6 provinces had surpluses: Beijing, Shanghai, Guangdong, Jiangsu, Zhejiang, Tianjin. Guangdong alone carried trillions in surplus. 2021, all 6 went to 0. Guangdong stopped publishing data. 2022, every single province in deficit. Even Shanghai posted an 18 billion yuan deficit. China's government employs 80 million civil servants plus 40 million state workers. Add retirees, 90 million people fed by government salaries. When local budgets collapse, who eats? Qingdao government workers whisper, "Last year we promised 6 to 8 months salary. This year, guarantee 3 months, fight for 6. One civil servant shows her pay slip. July, 3,000 yuan. August, 2,000 yuan. Now, 1,800 yuan. Where's the bottom? She asks. State-owned enterprises fare worse. One worker, 2 months no salary, even central SOEs. Another from a Qingdao agency. Local debt crisis. Some colleagues haven't been paid in months. The cuts hit daily life hard. Office drinking water? Buy your own. Toilet paper? Self-funded. Even pens require self-purchase suggestions. Energy audits turn draconian. Color printing? Must justify in writing. Forget to turn off AC. Full office shaming. Central AC shuts off automatically. Weekends? No AC for overtime. Duty shifts slashed from nightly to holidays only. Attendance tracking. Military precision. One worker traded her car for an e-scooter. Monthly fuel was 600 to 700 yuan. Now I save every penny. China's total government debt hit 92.6 trillion yuan by end of 2024. That's 34.6 trillion in national bonds, 47.5 trillion local statutory debt, 10.5 trillion allowed local debt. Debt to GDP ratio, 68.7%. Young people online scream, "Let's go to war, blow it all up and start over." Asteroids hit Earth, End this nightmare. 20 years ago, fresh graduates demanded 5,000 yuan starting salaries. Today, 20 years later, bachelor's degrees start at 5,000 yuan, sometimes less. House prices? 10,000 per square meter then, 15,000 now in Shanghai. A front desk job in Guangzhou, 4,500 yuan after probation, deductions, 780 yuan insurance, take home, 3,200 yuan. But she does front desk plus HR plus administration. 3 jobs, 1 miserable salary. Even duck farming barely breaks even now. This economy is terrifying, one farmer says. The disconnect between official statistics and reality couldn't be clearer. Experts claim 5% GDP growth. People are getting richer. Reality: 70% of Chinese families can't produce 100,000 yuan cash. Many can't even scrape together 50,000 yuan. 10% carry massive debts. Families leave one person home. The rest scatter seeking survival. Stay home? Starve. Airport coffee? No 9.9 yuan deals anymore. Full price only. People walk away thirsty. One man sums it up. I used to feel vaguely poor. Now I truly understand 4 characters. Bu Jian Dang Nian. Not what I expected from my youth. From billionaire torture chambers to coal-dusted Gen Z faces. From elite professors sweeping floors to civil servants buying their own pens. From gleaming Asus factories to rusting mold graveyards. This is China's true state in late 2025. Beijing's iron-fisted control couldn't save their economy. Their debt mountain grows daily. Their people break in silence. 90 million government workers once thought they were safe. Now they count days until the next paycheck might not come. 39 billionaires learned wealth means nothing when the state wants it. University campuses that train China's future now produce security guards. And Generation Z? They trade university diplomas for coal shovels. Is this collapse or just the beginning? China's empire of dust continues to crumble. Thanks for watching China Undercover. Smash that like button. Subscribe for more truth. Share this if you see the reality too.